Isn't it interesting that even all the mercs and all the enforcers, they're going to be infertile too? It's just like you say on your show a lot. All the people in enforcing the global elite agenda, they're next in line to be cold. They're not immune from the agenda.
Well, that's why people ask me, they say, because, you know, I've been attacked and a lot of things have happened. I don't get into it over the years. People say, aren't you scared of being killed? Or aren't you afraid of them coming after your family? And I love life. I love my children more than anything. But at the end of the day, they have no future if we don't beat them. Folks don't get it. This isn't something you just, you know, decide, am I going to face this down? Am I going to fight this? We are living in a science fiction nightmare, and only fully awakening to this assault is going to give us any chance of resisting. I mean, this is like Hitler going into Russia in Barbarossa. He's not going to stop. You're going to have to face it.
That's right. We're fighting for the future of the human race. That's literally what we are fighting for.
And that's when humanity wins, is when you realize there is no cowering down to this. You're fight or you die.
That's it. We got to get into more guerrilla gardening, Alex. I mean, the terminology sounds almost funny, but it's serious. We need guerrilla gardening. We need people growing their own food that's not GMO.
Saving the heirlooms.
Saving the seeds.
Hiding them, because they're also getting into moves worldwide to start confiscating them.
They could start confiscating seeds.
Oh, no, they're already buying up the heirlooms, Monsanto and others, and then now coming out and saying you can't replant those either. We've now put a patent on our brand name.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, this is going on.
What's a total takeover?
DuPont and Monsanto are buying up all the seed companies, not just in North America, but globally. Over 100 acquisitions between those two companies in the last
and building armored seed vaults.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because they know what's valuable. It's the seeds. It's not. This all comes down to the seeds, Alex. The seeds in humans, which are our genetic code, our sperm and our ovaries. All right, these are the seeds of the future of the human race.
And this is our ancestors going back millions of years. I mean, this is the total code of people that struggled and fought and died to be here.
If you cannot protect the integrity of your DNA as a species, then you are extinct, period. And that is what we are facing right now. So they want to control the seeds of plants and the seeds of humans. And they want to patent plants and patent humans or variations of humans. They've already tried to patent, well, successfully patented animals. Some of that was struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court, but not all of it, and certainly not globally. And then there are other tactics that they use to try to patent various processing.
You know what's shameful?
Seeds and plants.
America, the United States, is the main driver of this, and it's because we've been seized by the technocrats. And a lot of the world, you know, farmers in France, if GMO gets planted, they just go burn it. And the police go, absolutely, good job. And you know, all I'm saying is people need to start getting really focused on this.
If they don't, they're going to lose their future. I mean, I'm talking about complete extinction of many lines of genetics throughout the human race. That's what's happening. I mean, again, I've said this before. It's the genopocalypse. It is the apocalypse of the human genome. It's upon us, Alex. In another generation, it will be obvious to everyone. Right now, it's not, which is why what we are saying right here, a lot of people say, no, it couldn't be true.
It's all admitted. I mean, they really have written hundreds of books admitting they did it. And here's the issue. Just like they started militarizing police and setting up threat fusion centers when they got rid of Glass-Steagall, knowing it was designed to implode the country, and we're ready to have Northcom on the streets by this year, years before. This is all strategic, mapped up in long-term plans.
Yeah.
They keep us on like a quarterly system while they're on 10, 20, 30, 40-year plans that Zbigniew Brzezinski talks about. And now, Mike, they have to have their police state grid in place when folks find out about this.
Right, because awareness will lead to instant riots, instant revolts. If people knew what was going on with the Federal Reserve right now, there'd be riots in the streets. They know that. It's only the ignorance that keeps many mainstreamers in their seats. Now, I wouldn't be joining the riot. We're already past that stage. We're at home safe, you know, hunkered down, surviving and planting seeds and trying to create peace and freedom and liberty and free commerce and safe transportation in our local communities. That's the kind of thing that I think you and I would both be doing. Not, you know, not out just going crazy, shooting people. That's what the masses will do because they freak out, because they're uninformed. They did not get informed, and so they're afraid. You know,
I'll tell you, and we only got about 15 minutes left, and we've got to have you back in here for the news show that starts September 1st, and also for more of these special reports. If you're watching, this is a special report, part one of it, here with Mike Adams, and time has just flown by so fast. But I was invited to a birthday party, I don't know, almost a year ago now, to a small town outside Austin. And everyone I ran into there in the town was a listener. But then at the house I was at, some of the folks were listeners, but some of the doctors and people that were there didn't even know who I was. But they said, "Oh, you don't know? People have all moved to this town because we know about the population reduction plan. We know about the GMO Armageddon. Smart people could see it, and they've all moved out there. They're, quote, doomsteads with their wives and children, right. Many of them without ever hearing me." And then I was on the other side of the coin with some doctors and geneticists and people at a party I got invited to, and none of them knew who I was. And they said, "Well, how do you keep from just going dark knowing this info?" They started bringing it up to me, didn't know who I was,
really?
And were kind of very sad about the fact that this was being done. So the good news is, Mike, people are finally starting to get this in the intelligentsia. A lot of them got it a long time ago.
Yeah.
The problem is they are at their emergency doomsteads instead of having your redoubt, but also going out and warning people.
Sure. Yeah, I believe in that. Obviously, that's why I'm here. You and I are all about spreading the information so that people are informed, because we believe that information prevents the fear. If people have knowledge, then they don't panic. We are about helping people be prepared.
And we can start reversing this.
Yes.
Telling somebody, don't walk off into that cliff, you're going to fall 1,000 feet and die. That's not fear. It's, hey, there's a cliff right there.
No,
it's like at a subway, mind the gap.
Exactly. No, these people in Washington, they want the public to drive with their headlights off so they don't see something in the road. You and I would be, no, put your headlights on. Maybe even wear a seatbelt. It's just common sense in case something happens. It's preparedness. I mean, do these people who attack us, do they go out there and drive their cars down the highway at 70 miles an hour and not wear their seatbelts? Do they disable their airbags because they don't want to be negative about things? I mean, is that their mindset? It's insane. By the way, I just want to point out, with what we've talked about so far, you notice we haven't even turned a page over. We're still on page 1.
Yeah, no, look at this.
We have a whole stack of stuff to get into. This is just scratching the surface.
So tell us the time frame. They're coming out and saying, you know what? GMO whatever you want now. It's a brave new world. But by the way, you're not going to have Melaleuca plants. You're not going to have aloe vera plants, walnuts. And when I saw this in this article, Life Extension Magazine today, I believed it, but I went and looked it up. Yeah. And sure enough, the FDA, well, I mean, I know you know about it, is saying that they are not generally recognized as safe and effective. And so there's a move to start not letting people have walnuts.
That article, I believe, is from quite a few months back, actually, and it's about Blue Diamond.
Yeah.
And Blue Diamond made some health claims about their walnuts that were fully supported by government-funded scientific studies published in peer-reviewed medical journals. And it just said things like, if you eat walnuts, it reduces the risk of heart disease, which is absolutely true. The FDA, like they always do, they said by making that statement, you magically transform walnuts into unapproved drugs. Now you're selling unapproved drugs.
But everybody knows, get folic acid for a woman who's pregnant, eat spinach. I mean, we're supposed to eat food. It's like a baby gets milk and they say, no, you want corn syrup formula.
No, Alex, the FDA says that there is no such thing as a food that has any health benefit whatsoever in the human body. Foods are nothing but dead calories to the FDA. If you even say that vitamin C from an orange, that eating an orange can prevent scurvy or a Lyme, as the sailors found out hundreds of years ago, then in the FDA's eyes, you are a criminal. You can have, if you sell vitamin C and you make that claim, you can have your products confiscated. You can be prosecuted by the FDA's Criminal Investigation Department, which is very vicious and has put people on Interpol.
And as you know, the big organic food alliances and the vitamin alliances, what a decade ago said, okay, the FDA says be friends, work with them. They want to bring us into the fold, and now they found out they're coming in and just shutting everything down.
It was a total betrayal.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, this new effort by the FDA to potentially ban tens of thousands of products, health products, dietary supplements across the board, by the end of this year, it could really kick in. This effort is based on a reinterpretation of language from the 1994 law, DSHEA, that was all about that. Let's play ball with the FDA and we'll be okay. Well, Bill Falloon right there from Life Extension is on the record now saying, we know that we have to fight this or we are all going to be potentially put out of business.
And that's when we start winning. When you realize these are enemies, these are control freaks, these are eugenicists, murderers. The low-level minions are compartmentalized, but at the top, Aaron's done deep research. You're talking about less than 100 people on all these boards and these corporate boards, and then you find out they all make statements about too many people and getting rid of the population. It is a tiny eugenics cult in control of the major Fortune 100 and the central banks.
Yeah.
And literally, and I risk my life saying this, but if we could just have these people through law investigated and arrested, we would still have problems, but many of our problems would literally reverse. I mean, I go back to the Hitler analogy. World War II was finally over when they, when they overtook his bunker. When they finally, Japanese, finally when they were defeated, World War II was over. And I mean, these people are enemies. And we need to start recognizing they're murdering enemies. And I'm willing, for them to do whatever they do to me. I'm going to call them out. They're murdering criminals who have to be dealt with.
You are exactly right, and you are putting your life at risk by saying what you say and doing what you do every day on the radio. I'm putting my life at risk.
But there is no future.
Exactly.
There's no future if we don't beat them.
What's the point of being here if we don't stand up against this? And this guy is a great American hero, Bill Falloon. I don't know if you can get a shot of Bill here. Bill Falloon from Life Extension Foundation. He's the one who stood up against the FDA in 1994 with DSHEA, and he's the one now who is also going to help with this effort to protect access to our supplements. This is a great American liberty-loving individual right here, much like Ron Paul, much like many others throughout American history. And we all have to stand up, or it's over.
And the minute we decide that these people are the murdering criminals that they are the sick fascist takeover freaks, the minute we realize they want to socialize our wealth so they can control us, the minute we realize that, we start winning. We've only got about 10 minutes left, and then we're going to end up going 2 hours tonight, folks. We got Jack. I'll keep calling him Jack McClams, another great patriot. Or I might call him Stuart Rhodes. No. He's the guy that beat the Supreme Court, who beat the gun grabbers. Of course, Sheriff Richard Mack was on the show with me for an hour and a half today, and he's going to be talking about Oath Keepers and all the other great groups that are waking up the enforcers who are under attack. So Sheriff Richard Mack is coming up. We're live streaming at prisonplanet.tv. We're going to be doing more and more of these special reports here in the future, but also a weeknight produced 30-minute hard-hitting show. And so again, I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. But this assault on humanity, these people are such control freaks. They admit, yes, we're ending humanity. We're remaking it. We're upgrading it. And resistance is futile. You don't have a choice in this. Go along with it. And then they have people like Kurzweil repeating that, and then they have their minions going, good, I want to live forever. You're not going to be given that. You're being killed. They're selling you on rewriting everything, destroying the genetic code of the planet while they play God.
But let me give you the positive side of this.
Yes.
As individuals who listen to the Alex Jones Show, who pay attention to what we're talking about, individuals can choose to survive. All right? Individuals can choose to be part of the future of the human race by growing their own food, by avoiding the toxic chemicals.
That's the revolution.
That's exactly it.
And I don't even do, because I work so much, what I say I know we should do, and people shouldn't think, oh, I'm too far gone to do this. You can change it. You can at least do it for your children. Go ahead.
Well, it's just that we can make a choice. If you love life and if you love the future of humanity on this planet, because it's a great planet, I don't know of a better one out there. We can choose to be part of the future of the human race, even though others are not awakened and even though it might be too late for them. And that is a choice that we can make every day by deciding what we want to do with our lives and how we want to protect our genetic code. It's key to protect the integrity of our own DNA. And you can do that by avoiding the vaccines and avoiding the GMOs and avoiding the synthetic chemicals that they put into every personal care product out there. Perfumes and colognes have an average of 20 cancer-causing chemicals in them, and they don't have to be labeled because the FDA says that we just don't require it to be labeled because it's a corporate secret.